It really is. Like yesterday ended. I was like, I blinked and yesterday was over. And I get up at 4 o'clock in the morning to do work for the laundromat. And then I have the day job and then I do more laundromat stuff. So that's been difficult, the scheduling, but I'm handling it.
Welcome to Full Cycle.
Hey everybody, welcome to this episode of Full Cycle. In today's show, we're going to do something that's pretty fun and interesting because we're going to go through the journey of what it really takes to get into this business. And we're going to tell that story through the lens of someone who just got into the industry here in January. So still very new in terms of having a store that is open and operating, and was drawn in by the allure of social media and how easy this business is. It's not that easy. So to tell that story with me and to share a little bit of what drew her into this industry and why she stays is Catherine Chalpin from Pop-In Laundry in Poughkeepsie, New York. Catherine, welcome.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
It was going to be so easy, right? You were
Right.
going to make tons of money. It was going to be so easy.
Totally.
Yeah. Talk us through kind of how you found laundry. How did you come to be here?
Very uninspiringly, I did see something. It was about so January 2025, I would say. I saw something on Instagram, someone unloading quarters into a bucket. And I had already had some investment, like rental investment content on my Instagram. So once the laundry content started, it was laundromat investing content. So uh, I was like, I could do that. I was thinking about buying another property, but our market here is so competitive. It's driving the prices high. And with where the interest rates are, there's not a lot of room for margin there. So I was like,
Mm.
I have a property that's appreciated pretty well in a very popular area. I'll sell that. It was actually my very first one. So it was a little heartbreaking to give it up.
Emotional, yeah.
Yeah, but I gave birth to this other thing, the laundromat. So it was really like that January I saw things. I started reading all of the Full Cycle magazines or Planet Laundry at the time. Everyone, while I was traveling for work last spring, I was really busy. So I was on the airplanes just digitally reading all the
Okay.
PDFs and listening to every single podcast that I possibly could, reading all the books that I could. And in March, I was like, I'm ready to try to find a property. And I thought I would build a space out, which I know is highly discouraged your first go out, which thankfully didn't happen. My broker came back to me and said, listen, I've got a place we can see. It was an old zombie mat, no equipment. There was a contained dryer fire in the space, and the owner didn't retool. They just scrapped all the machines and up and left the place. And I walked in and I was
Wow.
like, this is gold. This is gold. All the infrastructure was there. Some needed to be updated, etc. So there was an actual long lease securing period through the summer because there was a large anchor tenant who they were negotiating. Of course, they get priority once they settled that. I got my lease in September. The day after I got the lease, I was ready to go. Construction. And we got the permit January 21st, and we opened on January 21st.
That's incredible. Do you realize how fortunate you are to have gone so quickly from,
I
I
know.
think I might want to get into laundry, to, oh, I've got a location, no problem.
I know several people that wait for a long time and they look long and hard. This place was 35 minutes from my house. I actually ended up moving closer, 10 minutes away. So, because I didn't want to do that drive. So, there's a
Yeah.
little chip in that pocket for the people say live close to your laundromat. Um, so yeah, that's just where it ended up. It was fast, it came out nicely, and it's funny because the location is actually a quarter mile up the road from where I first started working in New York when I moved here 17 years ago. So it's like a homecoming to Burnett Boulevard.
Yeah. That's funny. That's funny. It's we live in our little circles, right? We try to be about 20 minutes from where we spend most of our time. So talk to me about what you were doing kind of before laundry, right? And you still do have a for at least the time being, you still have a day job. There maybe someday here you'll get rid of that, but
So I don't know that my company president will let me leave, but I work for a company that sells indoor athletic flooring. So anything for a wellness center, a gymnasium, a group X room, like turf or rubber, wood floors, or performance vinyl, or even like what they play volleyball on in the Olympics. We sell those products and systems. So I'm the national senior executive for nonprofits. I work with JCCs, YMCA's, so I'm very familiar with like the nonprofit world, which has made it, I think, really nice and easy for me to partner with people in the community.
Yeah, that is a nice tie because you kind of get the joke, so to speak, in terms of what's important to those groups and what they're looking for and what kind of needs they actually have when a small business comes in, right?
Yep, very true.
Talk about in the process of kind of going through the construction and the retooling of your store. Talk about the skills that you kind of needed and where those came from for you. Like, how did you know what to do, and like what did you draw on for that?
So project management skills were huge in this, and I have project management skills from renovating some rental properties that I had in the past. So I had a nice resource of plumbers and electricians and people that I had worked with, tradespeople. Um, from there, I am very familiar with construction documents and specifications as well. So having an architect involved, the permit process, and just the process that construction takes, putting together a timeline and a schedule, communicating that work to everyone every week. I see it in my day-to-day job. And when I came upon, the project, and someone mentioned using a GC, I was like, why would I even consider using a GC? I know how to do all this myself. I can put this together. And I did.
Nice. And the most important question, was it all on time?
It was a little, I wanted to open before Christmas. We were very close.
Okay.
I would say the town had, a couple of things they may have not have mentioned in the permit process that we needed to, take care of, but got it taken care of quick.
It was so all right. So it's mostly on time and mostly on budget. We'll stick with that track.
Yeah. That's a funny question.
Talk about kind of the process for you. Like what were maybe a couple of things that were unexpected in the kind of process of getting the store going and getting yourself up and operational?
In terms of what I learned or surprises in the construction?
Let's talk learnings. Or if you've got a really fun surprise in construction, we'll take that too.
Well, a fun surprise in the construction is the town, and this is after I secured all my funds with the SBA loan, decided that we needed a lint trap. And, that's pretty costly to install. You have to dig up the concrete, cut the sewer line, drop the box in, and then put that in. So that was a little bit of a surprise. So many people are willing to come together and help you, and in a way that is not salesy, in a way that is not I'm doing this to get something else. The property manager of the plaza was incredibly generous with his time and knowledge of the building. Spent every time I wanted to go there and look at the place and bring a contractor in to get numbers, he was always willing to be open with his time. Same thing with my plumber and my electrician. They were always willing to give their time to make this project happen. So that's what really surprised me, because from where I stood in the construction world, things are a little bit more limited and rigid. And this was I was really surprised at that, how people willing to help and give their time to you.
What do you think? I mean, what do you think drives that? Where do you think that comes from?
I think a confidence in what the person is doing. I mean, I was determined it wasn't not going to happen. I wasn't abandoning this project in the middle of it. I wasn't going to get shaky on the lease. So I think when you have confidence in what you're doing, people see that. People see it and they latch onto it, and you give that energy to others and they're willing to give you energy in return, I think.
Yeah, I think that's a big piece of it, right? Like you got to give people a reason to believe in you. You
Yep.
know, it's if you don't they if you don't believe in yourself, nobody's going to. You know, it's trite, but it's very, very true, and that's where that confidence comes from. Uh, Talk to me a little bit about. We were talking about nonprofit community work and kind of connecting that. I know that you're doing some of that in your community there. Talk about what you've done from getting involved and um, helping local organizations.
All right. So I come from a marketing and promotions background. So I'm always looking to keep it fresh, have something fun. Like we've done a pop-up comedy show at the laundromat. We've
Oh, wow.
done we had a DJ for our opening and everything. So I always want to have like a market differentiator in terms of what we're doing for special events and promotions. And I, like many laundromat owners, wanted to do something for the people that are coming into my store. I want to do something for the
Mhm.
community. So every month I try to have something going on. This month we have a clothing drive for the Salvation Army in relation to spring cleaning. So Saturday is going to be a big day. I'm sure we're going to get dumped on with all the socks and everything that we've asked for. And I have a little library as well, similar to what the CLA offers. Children are able to bring the books home with them. And I've partnered with the local library to create a summer reading program, keep kids
Oh, cool.
motivated and willing to be involved in reading and education through the summer. Super important to keep those skills sharp. So we're doing that 2 times in July and 2 times in August, and we've partnered with the grocery store as well in the plaza for snacks. Um, and that's going to be really cool. They have a little library bus that they come with arts and
Oh,
crafts
that's cool.
too.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really neat. And we have a partnership as well with the Family Services of Poughkeepsie, where we provide laundry cards for their clients as well.
Okay, nice, man. You've like hit the ground running here. You've got more going on in the first few months here of your store being open than I think some people
Yeah.
would even think was possible.
Yeah. Oh, and we're doing the free laundry day with the
Okay.
CLA, the individual free laundry day that everybody's trying to work together on. We're doing that as well. We're
I love
excited.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
So why do that? Like for you, like obviously there's marketing and promotion side in that piece, but I'm sensing that there's something a little deeper for you in terms of why you do these kinds of things and why you create these spaces. Why do you do this?
Well, I grew up somewhat disadvantaged, and I have had to use a laundromat. When I first started listening to all the podcasts about laundromats and I was traveling for work last spring, I would take advantage of the fact that I'm in a new city every week and go to different
Mhm.
laundromats and see them. And it's just amazing to me that people would put time and effort to open a business and have it be neglected in a way, a dirty space where people are supposed to come get their things clean. I think it's about respect. I built this. This is mine. I want it to be clean and I want it to be friendly and I want these people to feel respected. It's a lot to bring your laundry out and do it. You don't know what's going on in their lives. You just do laundry at home most of the time, like
Mhm.
whatever. It's a whole different ball game when you have to go to the laundromat to take care of a chore that nobody wants to do. So I just feel compelled almost to provide a space where customer service is important and where cleanliness is very important.
I really like that because you are starting to see more folks get into the industry with this community mindset, and it's more about one keeping things very clean, making sure that everything feels really nice inside, that it's a nice and welcoming space. But more than that, it's almost this shift towards creating spaces where people can come together and do things. Like
Yeah.
so your idea like the pop-up comedy thing, that's super fun, right? That's super interesting and completely unexpected. But it's another space where people can gather and you can kind of
Mhm.
connect with other humans in a way that you're not going to do, when you're sitting at home, doing your laundry in the laundry room.
So true. So true. I mean, aside from like the hyper local marketing that you get from,
Hmm.
all the other benefits, you're just making people feel good and people do business with people they know and like. So,
So we are, as of this recording, we are just months into your store being open. How's it going?
it's going good. There's improvement every week. I would love more wash, dry, fold.
Hmm.
It's coming in trickles. We are doing the advertising on Google. We are doing Facebook marketing as well as the Instagram. I have a gentleman who tags doors for me because we are in a city setting. So he goes and tags doors. We have permission to tag cars in the parking lot, all the demographic research, like what I have from Placer AI and my broker,
Hmm.
really gave me a lot of insight into who my people are, and where they're going and what they're doing, which is super important. So there's not a lot of dwell time in our plaza, and flyering cars is important because those are wash dry fold customers and we can flyer their cars. So we just got permission to do that.
Are you are you pleased with your results otherwise?
I'm
Like, are you
pleased
feeling
it
good?
gets better.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
it's very scary. It really is very scary. Frightening, the most frightening thing I've ever done, but I'm pleased with the improvement. There's improvement every week. I just on Wednesday, we're doing wash it Wednesdays and $2 washes from 9 to noon. And we did more business in that hour for the second time we did the promotion than we would do on a regular Wednesday. So,
Wow.
figuring out where those low times are is important and filling in with something else, whether you're filling in with more wash, dry, fold or more commercial accounts, I think is important to see those holes in what you're doing and make a change. Try it out. What's going to happen?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
how I'm aiming to fill in some dollars that we're missing.
What's it feel like for you? I mean, like it's been pretty fast. Like you were from idea and interest to opening was only a year period.
Mhm.
Um, wh- how do you feel? Like, how do you feel now that you've got this thing and it's working?
It really is exhilarating. And it feels good to finally be doing laundry. All I wanted in the construction process, I just want to have people in here doing laundry. So that was pretty exciting. Yeah. So exhilarating is a word that I always use, as well as terrifying. Your whole life is on the line. You have a 20-year lease that you're tied to no matter what. You've invested in all this equipment that you're responsible
Mhm.
for no matter what. It's a huge responsibility. Yeah, frightening and exhilarating.
So you said something earlier when we were chatting about, this is yours. Like that there's some that this is your thing. It's your business. Talk about like what that does for you and how that changes your mindset and how you kind of attack this project.
Oh man. My mindset. I wanted to have everything I possibly could, systems and processes done before the whole thing started. So everything was set and ready
Mhm.
before we went. And it didn't work out, as planned. None of this does.
Yeah.
But I think I was a lot more prepared than I needed to be for the opening day. I had staff who was working for I think 4 weeks before we even opened. So they knew the systems, they knew the
Hmm.
processes that we did have down, they knew the building, they knew the contractors. So when we were open, it was like nothing happened.
Yeah. What's been maybe what's been the toughest part? Like what's been hardest for you to figure out or get through?
The time, the
Mm.
time is like sands through the hourglass. If you remember that,
Yeah, yeah,
it
yeah.
is fleeting. It is a commodity we cannot make more of, get more of, or get back. So the scheduling is difficult. I make it happen. It's not a chore, but it really is. Like yesterday ended, I was like, I blinked and yesterday was over. And I get up
Mm.
at 4 o'clock in the morning to do work for the laundromat. And then I have the day job and then I do more laundromat stuff. So that's been difficult, the scheduling, but I'm handling
I don't know. You might have to get the president of your day job to
it.
kind of give you a little space because if this thing goes, it's gonna go, Catherine.
For sure. For sure. And I might have to ask for that, and I'm okay with that. I was hoping laundromat number one would be just providing me vacation money. That's all I
Yeah,
asked
yeah.
for. So we'll see with laundromat number two and three what turns out for that.
Yeah, that's funny. That's funny. Maybe. Here's when you know you really made it, Catherine. When you are selling yourself recreational floor to go into your
I
laundromat.
did. I did. I sold myself our flooring because rubber for this application is it's a little tough to keep clean, but you're on your feet all day, so you have vertical
Yeah.
deformation to keep your joints nice and comfy. And if it gets wet, it's not slippery.
Yeah. That's amazing. That's amazing. I'm so like people, yeah. Everybody should have rubber floors. That's the moral of the
Uh,
story.
yeah.
When was the moment when you realized, oh my gosh, this is going to work? Like you're going through this process, and I can tell that your personality is when like you're like, nope, I'm doing the thing, and we're going to get all the way through. But you also have admitted that it's a little terrifying, right? So there had to be a moment where you're like, you know what, it's actually going to work. Here we go.
Mhm.
What was that moment for you?
September 16th, when the lease was executed. It was a summer. I was on pins and needles all summer, waiting to see the email that we were going to move forward with the lease. Um, so it really was when I got that email and we had the executed lease, that was the moment it was for real for me
Yeah.
because it could have been swiped right out from under me and my vision, poof, would be gone. And this is amazing. I got to create my vision.
Yeah, it does. I mean, it does happen sometimes, right? You've got people
Hmm.
who have been working on deals for a long time and then something happens and it doesn't pan out. But I
Yep.
think in all of those cases, what generally happens is the thing that was supposed to happen. So for you, this is the location that you were supposed to have. And
Yep.
you just were fortunate to get in there at the right time and stars aligned and your background was great. You didn't need a GC. You sold yourself your own floor and now you're rocking and rolling.
We got it. We're all set.
Talk a little bit about, so from a systems perspective, right? You were getting in, you said you wanted to have all your systems and stuff in place. Obviously that never actually works. You have to do some things based on actual learning of doing the stuff in real life. Talk about things that you've put in place now that you've been open for a little bit that have been really beneficial to you. What's been like a couple big wins for you?
A couple of big wins. One is having a reference sheet for your attendants or your staff
Mm,
on pricing, something quick like an FAQ sheet right there in front of your point of sale system that they can just reference. Because I was fielding a lot of questions and someone had just mentioned, can we just have a one sheet on this? And I was like, yeah, why not? And we'll keep it right here. That was a big win so they can answer the phone and sound educated about what they're talking about because it's right there in
mhm.
front of them. What another um the floor mopper that I bought. Lifesaver. Don't ever try to mop the laundromat with just like elbow grease style. They're a little automated vacuum mopper, saves back, saves time, and it's worth the $400 or $500 investment. That made my people very happy. I want to make their jobs very easy, because that way less mistakes happen. There are less holes in the system. Everybody's job is easy. That means that you've got good systems and processes in place. So yeah, like having a reference sheet, having reference books that go into further detail
Mm.
for them, like a customer service book, operations book, etc., are super helpful. And I am still developing other processes. Like I want to have everything written down. And that is in process as we speak.
Yeah, that's great. And that's the kind of stuff, making your employees' lives easier, making your customers' lives easier. That's the stuff that makes a business really go smoothly because everybody's happier, the work is easy, it's enjoyable, and they're just going to keep showing up every day, right? I mean,
That's true.
if you like your work and it's not that hard, you're going to probably come back.
Yeah. 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 I mean, and a laundromat, you're cleaning a lot.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say it's a dirty job. There's some dirty things associated with it, but I mean, keeping it clean is not all that difficult.
Yeah, and I suppose I should say it's not necessarily easy work, but it's easier because there's a process and
Hmm.
you've given people the right tools to do the job effectively. as they're there and they're putting in their time every day.
Yes.
I want to talk a little bit about kind of what's the future look like for you, right? So you came in with great vigor to get into this industry. What are you seeing kind of in the future? What are you kind of looking forward to now that you're in it? You've got a store open. What's the future path look like?
I'm looking forward to seeing where the self-service goes because that's obviously been, the piece that's growing the most. Um, I'm excited to see where wash, dry, fold goes. In terms of my laundry life, I am planning on attending the wash, dry, fold conference coming up in the fall. I saw the date was just announced for that.
Mm-hmm.
And within 2 years, I would like to start looking for another store or add pickup and delivery. There's not a lot of that marketed in this area, and I think it's really a miss. So yeah, either another store or adding in pickup and delivery to this store, seeing how I can maximize those machines a little bit more, utilize them throughout the evening hours. Yeah, that's what I see for myself. I have fallen in love with laundry. I've fallen in love with this, and I want more. So I do
What
see.
is it? What is it that you love? Like, what's the thing? What's the hook for you?
I wish I could put my finger on it. Everybody's so nice and friendly. Whether it's in the industry or the customers that I'm dealing with. It's a show. The laundromat is a show when it's busy. It's so intriguing. I love people watching and I love just, yeah, you want to sit and chit chat and talk to me about your life and tell me some of your deepest fears and feelings, which people have done.
That's crazy.
Go for it. So, yeah,
Well, you're stuck here now. You're in it.
I know. I do. I really enjoy it. It's a needed business and this market needed a sharpness to it in
Yeah.
terms of customer service. And that's a lot of what we hear. Everybody's nice. It's very clean. And that's what I love.
Yeah, that's awesome. What do you think you're most proud of? Like through this whole process? What gives you the most pride?
Just, when I see people who were at this laundromat who came to the old one. From what I understand, it was a zombie mat. It was very run down, 24 hours unattended, just not cared for. And I've since met the gentleman who owned it. And he just, he came in and he said, "You've done everything that I couldn't do." And that was that made me feel good, that I also made him feel good. So that was a moment that I was very proud of. Yeah.
Yeah, that had to be a pretty special interaction because, most people aren't comfortable admitting that, right? That they couldn't get to the place that they wanted it to be. And to give you those props, I think that's pretty awesome.
Yeah. And he gave me my first dollar and it's framed on the wall.
Really? That's amazing. Yeah. That's amazing. What a good story. What a good story. What do you tell people who maybe are in your shoes from last January who are like, what's this laundry thing all about? Can I just go like collect a bunch of money?
Don't think of it that way. What I would tell you is absorb every piece of information you can. Read, listen, get involved. I wish I had been more involved with the CLA and networking and met more people in person first. Because I was a little bit of a lone wolf out of the gate. I'm now getting better at the networking part, but it's learn, read, talk, do whatever you can to get your hands on every piece of laundromat information, whether it's the wild, crazy stuff, because there's some wild laundromat content out there, to the general, CLA content, which is so informative. So you can do it. It's totally doable. I did it. You can do it. Just learn a lot. Get your information under your belt and learn. I mean, go to your town hall, see what that permit process is like. I'd never had to get a permit for anything before. and I had a little anxiousness about it. Just go and talk to somebody there. They're willing to give you their time. They're there on the clock
Yeah.
anyway. So, and coming from this sales background, I come from a world of possibilities. Everything is possible. I may not know how we get there, but it's
Yeah.
possible. Let's figure it out.
Yeah, that's great stuff. Catherine, I've got one last question for you. And it's one I ask everybody. I want to know, what's one thing that we could be doing today that's going to make us better tomorrow? And this can be business related. It can be in just personal life, just great advice you've heard along the way. But I'll ask you one more time. So, because I'd like to drop this on people. And if people are going to be on the show, they'll eventually listen and know that I'm going to ask this question. But the question is, what's one thing we can do today that's going to make us better tomorrow?
Use AI. Get familiar with and use AI. It was my assistant building this laundromat. Totally dove into it. My GPT knows everything about this laundromat. I since moved to using Claude more. I feel like Claude's kind of the smarter older cousin. Plus, you can program things on it. I've gotten deep into AI since the laundromat as well. But yeah, use AI. It will be your assistant. It will create frameworks and it will make your life better. Claude schedules everything for me. Claude does all the chore work. You just have to learn a little bit about it to utilize it.
Yeah, that's good advice. It's interesting how much that's coming up these days, but I think it really is important that we take the time to learn about the things that show up that are a little bit scary at first, right? I mean, AI was really scary. It's still a little bit scary, let's be honest,
For
but
sure.
it's less scary when you know what the heck is going on and you know how it works and you know how to use it and you can start to leverage it in ways that gives you back some of your time. So I think that's really good advice.
Yeah.
Well, Catherine, congratulations, number one,
Thank you. Thank you.
on getting the store open and getting your vision realized. And then number two, thank you so much for sharing your story here on Full Cycle.
Anytime. Thanks for having me.
Hey, friends, if you are watching or listening wherever you are, make sure that you like and subscribe and do all the things to make sure you never miss an episode. But most importantly, thank you for giving us a turn.